And I am one of the Wikid co-founders, and I'm joined by a great group of creators today. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Jeremy Lott,
Hi.
creator of. Sorry, the most famous person should go first. Dubai, you go first.
Obviously, he's top billing.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I'm the guy with the weirdest accent, so let's get that out of the way as quickly as painlessly as possible. I'm Ibai Canales. I'm the guy who wrote and drew Decimators, currently on sale at Wikid Publishing. And I'm also doing the arts for Ironsides Part 2. I tried to convince Zach of calling it Ironsides 2 Sides Harder, but he went with two cycles. Who knows why? And I'm also doing the art for SOS, also on Indiegogo right now.
Very nice, man. You got a lot of projects. And Jeremy, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I'm Jeremy Lott. I'm the creator of Movie Men and other comic books to come.
Nice. And we got, last but not least.
Hi. I am Jupiter, and I write starring.
Nice. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
So what's everyone been up to since we last caught up with each other on the podcast?
Changing diapers.
When was that? I can't remember when was the last time I handled it.
So you weren't on the last one, I don't think, but maybe the one before that.
Yeah, I keep remembering that time when I had to live stream from a book fair here.
Yeah, you'll never live that one down, man.
Yeah, no, I can get that crap out of my head. Oh man, that was chaotic.
That's okay. I had to mute myself during one of the conventions because I was getting a lot of feedback. So I've been there.
I usually always just out of force of habit mute.
Oh really?
I don't know why. Like if I'm not talking, I just mute.
Matt B, the other Wikid co-founder, does that a lot too.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, he'll forget he's on mute, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I was on mute."
I've done that. I'll be like something will come into my mind, and I'll be like, "Oh," I'm like talking, and then I'm muted. Oh,
right? Yeah, that's totally right.
And then you're getting all mad at the other person. You're like, "Hey, why are you talking over me?" Hey.
I have that problem, but I think it's due to the lag. I'm always like 10 seconds late.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to speak in the middle of other people's sentences.
I wonder if it's just because of the distance for you.
Yeah. Also because I'm a Spaniard and Spaniards are assholes and always speak over you.
Yeah, there's that, I suppose. But yeah, it's good to hear you guys, been doing well. It sounds like you've been busy, Jeremy, and I know you've been busy, Canals, with work and working on Ironsides. But anyone catch Joker? I know you wrote an article for it, Jeremy.
Yeah.
How'd that article come about? You've seem to be writing a lot of articles lately.
Well, I mean, I'm out of work, so I might I might as well write for pay.
Right, that makes sense. Honestly, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah. So I try to get at least I mean, I had a couple articles that came out this week.
Nice.
And I try to get at least two.
You write so much, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like some of it, there's a piece for, like, if you write for, it depends on what publication you're writing for, right? Some you do things that are more rigorous, or take more research, or you got to read the book. But others are like, I mean, I'm writing an article on how I hate turkey, but if you have to do turkey, here are some ways you can do it so it's not awful like most turkey is on Thanksgiving.
That's interesting. It kind of varies in the level of research and other kind of things that you need to put into it.
Well, like book reviews, you got to read, at least read in the book.
Right.
Yeah. Like you can skip some things in books. It's just how it goes. But you got to get a good grasp of it to grapple with that for readers. But I don't know. It just I wrote a piece that'll be out in Splice today, I think next week, called Fun Employment. So that one didn't take a lot of research.
Right, yeah, that's a first-hand experience, I suppose. Yeah.
I love the book you wrote, but I'm trying to find it on my Twitter, and I can't find it. But it was really good. It was really good advice. I think it was about writing, actually.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, Jeremy's quite the writer. He's I always talk about how prolific he is, from all the comic ideas he has to putting in the time on these articles, and you know.
Well, the way I mean, in the non-comic book world, the way I made it as a writer was I just got published as widely as I possibly could. And what that looks like is I've been published in several hundred publications, if not over 1,000. I don't know. I lost count. And many of them don't exist anymore.
Interesting.
And I just, spread my writing as widely as I possibly could. And that seems to have had some effect on building a reputation, so that it's fairly easy for me to get published. Because people are very monkey see, monkey do, and so if they see your byline in all these other places, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we should publish that."
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of like you build up the experience.
Sorry, I was going to say that it's kind of like my case, by which I'm everywhere, and I don't really have to be particularly good, but since I'm like really popular and like widely published, people seem to contact me all the time and offer me jobs and that. So that's a good method.
I think one of the things, though, you have going over most people is two things. One, you're really good at headshots.
Thank you.
And two, your fight scenes look like people are actually fighting.
I guess being a martial artist kind of helped with that, because it always bugs me that not to throw shade to anyone, but I always thought that most American artists don't know how to draw a fight scene. They will, like, I don't know if they use like action figures for reference or what, but I rarely feel the punches and the kicks in American comics. The Japanese, however, on the other hand, the Japanese are great for fight scenes, and I think that's because a lot of them study martial arts as kids, and carry on in their adult lives.
I love that too, because it's in the manga aesthetic. I think it's, for me, it's because they do such a great job and such an emphasis on not just the motion and the action of the hands, the fists, the kick, all the actual body parts, but the actual motion of just motion itself, like blur lines, and making things look like they're fast, and adding a feel of motion in a still image. I think it's so really cool to see that kind of stuff. And I agree. I do see a lack of that in a lot of Western comics. So I would like to see that emulated.
I think one of the things that Eerie does when she's doing stuff like that is just like the smallest of details matter, like just a drop of blood coming from the sword, like after they're done the fight. Like I like stuff like that. That's stuff that catches my eye after the fight scene.
Little details like that.
I'm not an artist, so I guess like I don't really know how they really kind of draw that out.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
a lot of Pias.
Well, I mean, because one of the problems is that a lot of American artists are basing their fight scenes off of what they see in movies, right? Which is, it's just not, I mean, obviously people aren't actually punching each other, right? They're finding a way to make it look kind of like that's happening, or they're affiliated with special effects or whatever, right? And that's the reference point that they're using rather than actual violence.
True. Yeah. So maybe they'd be better off watching like MMA fighters or something.
Yeah, I mean, MMA is great for the kind of damage people can do to each other with their bare hands.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's really interesting. I never thought about it that way, but it is kind of like that's the Hollywood magic. Going on.
I think being an artist. Sorry. No, I was going to say that. I think being a comic book artist is to some degree similar to being a method actor. At least to me, it's or like being a writer. You have to document yourself. You have to do research, and if you're going to draw like action scenes and fight scenes and all that, well, maybe you should at least attend one of your friends' MMA classes, or go down to the shooting range. I've been to shooting ranges just out of curiosity, because I tend to draw a lot of violent stuff. So I really wanted to know what that was like.
Yeah,
that's pretty smart, man.
or like in Hollywood, you see everybody like they screw in a silencer and you hear these little pew 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 things. That is not how that actually works in real life. It makes it a little less loud, but it's nothing like what you see in the movies.
I know this is kind of more on like the anime manga side of things, but I actually feel like two of my my favorite comics are actually better as an anime.
Really?
Yeah, when it comes with fight scenes and stuff like that, yeah. That would be Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. I just feel like the anime portrays the fight scenes a little better than the manga did, but that's me.
I think that honestly, that's probably down to the mangaka and how they portray the action.
Right.
Like in Berserk, if you watch the Berserk anime versus the manga, the manga actually does a much better job of showing the action.
I've heard of that, and I've never actually gotten a chance to.
It's really interesting. He's created like a very innovative style that has kind of become all his own, where he uses after images where you'll see, like, say there's like sword fighting happening between two people, you'll see different positions of sword attacks within the same panel. So you might see 5 images of the character, and it looks like you can see him swinging all over the place, and so it kind of gives us really kind of sweeping within one panel. You get all this action. And he does a lot of really interesting techniques like that to kind of bring out the motion in the action.
Nice.
Yeah, I highly recommend Berserk if anyone hasn't read it yet. You just got to be able to handle the really dark stuff. If you can do that, yeah.
I was just at Books A Million. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday, or not Books A Million. I'm sorry, Barnes and Noble. And I went into the manga section, and I happened to look over, and I seen the monster volumes of like Tokyo Ghoul. So nice. They were so nice.
How were they, the oversized ones?
Yeah, they were really big. And like when I opened it and I looked at the manga, I was just so happy because it's just so nice. Just all big like that, like really getting a good look at the panels and the detail. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, there's a oversized version of Berserk as well. You can get has like 2 or 3 volumes in one that they've been re-releasing, as well as one for Attack on Titan, which is actually honestly pretty cool. Like, with all the Titans, you get extra big.
I still haven't started with my Attack on Titan manga yet. I mean, I've been reading it, but I just don't have any. I've been kind of reading it digitally.
What manga should we get Jeremy into? We need to get you started, man.
I have a few that I probably picked the wrong ones to try to get.
Probably. Which couple do you have? I feel like
there's a manga called "Don't Mess with My Daughter" that I got.
Oh God, I've never even heard of that.
Oh, no.
And so, well, actually, I think I got it. The copy sitting over here. It turned out it was a little bit more of a I don't know, TNA fan service manga than I really expected it to be.
Right, you got to be careful. There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah,
for someone like you, I would definitely.
It's not hentai, but
oh geez. Yeah. It looks kind of like she looks like Wonder Woman almost, doesn't she?
It's not that bad. I think that's kind of wholesome fan service.
Yeah, it's not.
Well,
I've seen worse.
Cover it gets less wholesome inside.
Like I always say, I love fan service. I don't mind wholesome fan service. Like,
top
fan service.
It's not. That's fine. I mean, like, I'm not objecting. I'm just saying that wasn't. If I'm trying to get into like a really good story, that's probably. There's trade-offs.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly for you, I'd highly recommend you starting with something in the seinen. I always forget how to pronounce it. Seinen genre. SEINEN.
Yeah.
I'll put in the chat. But it's basically for a little bit older audience, usually male, but not always. But it's they typically have more complex storylines. More bigger ideas. And they tend to be in the sci-fi genres and other kind of, military, those kind of genres too.
I would recommend the 1990s classics, the noir style like Sanctuary and Crying Freeman and all that.
I actually have the Crying Freeman. I have the whole thing. I need to sit down and read it.
Oh wow!
But again,
Hey, well, there you go. Great start.
But that was made. I mean, one of the things we've talked about is that was made into an American style manga, right? And that's how I have
Oh
it.
really?
You know, so it got
Oh
flipped.
right,
So
right.
that
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have a hard time reading right to left. It's just
Read it in your mirror.
yeah, right on that.
Just have to learn how to read backwards. That's all.
You know, when
Then,
when I start reading like that, when I'm reading manga, it took me forever to get back into reading the normal.
Oh really?
Yeah, it took me forever.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like
here's
the other way.
Here's a manga question I have is that, you know, how many Westerners are producing manga?
Like 5.
Okay.
That might be an exaggeration, but there's probably around a dozen or so.
It's a huge.
What's that?
It's a huge
Jupiter?
market.
Or Natalie?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying there's a couple. There's a couple big ones. They're Sacred. The creator of that manga is by a YouTuber. She's really cool too. And then there's Apple Black.
Okay.
Which is another one. But those are like the only 2 that I'm aware of at the moment, you know, besides smaller ones, you know, on Webtoon or, you know, in places like that.
There are a few more. I've read a couple articles on some guys and who are doing it, American mangaka. But yeah, it's super scant. I think it's hard to. I mean, for one thing, you have to learn Japanese, I believe.
Yeah.
And you have to really get into the industry.
Mm-hmm. Brian Edward Hill.
Oh yeah, this is the guy. Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll just post this in the chat. This guy I read an article about. His name is Felipe Smith. He's an American mangaka. I read this article a while back on anime. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian Hill is a famous American comic book writer, and he's talked a little bit about how he thinks it'd be fun to write manga.
Oh really?
And I think he may make that jump at some point.
That'd be dope.
And that would be. I think that would be cool. It'd be like you know, in baseball, it's like when Ichiro came to the Mariners, and then all of a sudden the Mariners ended up being this conduit through which a bunch of Japanese players came into American baseball, right? I kind of think if you had someone big like Brian Hill, who went and did manga, that you'd get a lot of Westerners doing the same thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd like to see it.
It's an interesting idea, you know. LaShawn Thomas, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He worked on American TV shows like Legend of Korra and The Boondocks. But he has an anime. Yeah, he has an anime. He actually went and got to create an anime with a Japanese animation studio called Cannon Busters, and it's on Netflix. You can watch it. But it's so yeah, I mean it's been done before where, you know, big name people come in over and can kind of do anime because they have that bigger status. So maybe Brian Edward Hill could do that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
That'd
the other thing
dope.
is just that, so in Japan you have these. I guess they're weekly. They're weekly. They're like weekly magazines that are widely consumed by Japanese consumers, right?
Weekly and monthly as well. They have both versions.
And I sort of wonder, and manga is definitely growing in the U.S. I wonder as it grows if you won't get something, you know, either those will be more widely distributed here, or you know, you'll get like an American version at some point.
That's a tough question. You know, my personally thinking, I'm not sure. I think it'd be tough to see that, only because they had the Shonen Jump for a while in print, and then they had to discontinue the print. So now that you can only get the digital here in the U.S.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's tougher because of all the licensing involved in it. I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing, such a popular thing in Japan to read comics. Like, I think it's a lot more popular than here in the States, in a way.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you can buy comics at the 7-Eleven in Japan.
Yeah.
It's like what? You can buy manga there and all this stuff.
Yeah, unlike what has happened in the rest of the world, manga is still healthy and you can still buy manga. As far as I know, because I'm not a big expert, it seems like you can still buy manga at the usual spots where you could back in the 1970s and 1980s, you know?
Yeah.
a kind of an underrated area where comics are really popular and are actually produced really well is China. I forget the actual name of what it's actually called. Well, what we would call manga. It's pretty much laid out like all the same, but it has like a different name and different kind of backgrounds and history involving your stories, and it's actually really underrated and like not a lot of people know about it. So I
remember back in when I was a kid in the early 90s, where manga was becoming popular here. They published some Chinese manga, and it was really good. It was like a more photorealistic style, because they still use drop what's the word, deep pens and do shade and all that, and sepatones like the Japanese, but the style was like more elaborate, more realistic, and I really liked it because the usual wuxia style story. It's really cool,
and the artwork was always really good too. With a good storyline and good artwork, like you can't go wrong. This is really good.
There's cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're gonna talk about France or something, I bet.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the Netherlands.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I have a couple friends from the Netherlands, and they actually read a lot of the comics that are in Dutch, and I thought that was pretty cool too.
Well, so, it's interesting is I mean, it's a huge market now because like France has a really big manga industry where they actually create manga in France and they'll import it to Japan. But it's like in Japan they're not as strict, I think, about that whole definition, kind of like with anime, they're not as strict about it like we are here about, manga is from Japan only. There's a big mentality of people like that in the US.
Literally, I could be wrong, but when you translate manga, I really think our translation is comic.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, sure it is, because I know that's what the anime. That's just their word for animation. So it's like I'm sure I wouldn't be. That makes a lot of sense to me,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just an interesting idea.
I think one of the things that I was looking for when I was creating it was when I first started. It really wasn't kind of like a manga. It was more just a manga art style in an American comic style. And then when I got with Eerie, it changed. We more like a manga then. So
nice.
I think it really just goes based on like layout and kind of
aesthetic.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to find Jeremy some good ones that we can figure out somehow.
I mean, I've seen a lot of things that are manga. I've read a lot of things that are. I've read a little bit of American manga, and I've read things that are manga influenced.
Nice.
But it's going to be a long waiting process for me because I also have such a, and it's not like I cared but I have so many comics that I just need to get around to reading at some point.
Maybe you should start with light novels, since those are written like English novels,
And I was gonna say, if you kind of have a good manga you could read that I think if you really enjoy story is Attack on Titan. Like the manga is just so good.
Yeah, it is, but the art, I'm sorry, but the art is so much better in the anime.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people actually say like Isayama should have just made it like a novel instead of a manga.
I mean, it's not his art isn't bad or anything. I just love what studio, everything they do. I'm so obsessed with them.
They just did that portrait of the artwork in the anime style, and
really,
like a couple left, and I had it in my browser, and by the time I went to go get it, they were all gone. I was like,
oh no. Wow. Jeez, yeah. I was gonna say, if you want something that's maybe, I think it's shorter than, I don't know how many Attack on Titan chapters there are, but if you want something that's already finished, Death Note is always a classic. You can't go wrong with Death Note.
I have a ridiculous question for you.
Uh-huh.
Marvel did a manga thing a while back. I think it was just called Marvel Manga, but I could be wrong.
Really?
And it was Ben Dunn, I think, did some of it. Did you ever see that?
No, I did not see it.
Actually got the Sentinel American manga.
You got the what?
From Marvel. Yeah, the Sentinel. It was like a
really?
story. Yeah, it was a story about like a teenage kid from a small town who found a Sentinel from the from the X-Men at the local junkyard, and he was like this It's more like, you know, the usual SJW character before there were SJWs at Marvel. It was like really
I
small.
have that. I just didn't think of it as an American manga. Huh.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah.
It had aesthetic though. I don't know if it counted, but it was definitely trying to be like a manga.
There was also a young Wolverine manga that I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, but I have it.
One of the American mangas I'm reading, like I mentioned earlier, is called Sacred. It's really, really good. And the artist, you know, she's American. She's from New York. She hand draws her manga like it is actually amazing to watch how she hand draws. It's like she has all the tools, like all these things that make it really have that, you know, manga, I guess, shade. And, you know, I couldn't believe how awesome it was to watch her hand draw it. It was really, really interesting.
Really?
The artwork is beautiful. Yeah. The artwork is really nice.
We have some people in the chat are chiming in. Neostar says, an artist I'm working with has a pretty classic manga style, like what you'd see in early Go Nagai or Osamu Tezuka. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I like some Osamu Tezuka. He did, I believe, Astro Boy. Am I mistaken? Yep. And he also did a lot of. I mean, he's got a incredible body of work. But I did some Indiegogos a couple years back from Digital Manga DRM, I think, or I can't remember what they are. And they digital manga publishing, and they put out like some collections of his work. So they have like, I have like 3 or 4 books of like just Osamu collections. Cool. Just incredible stuff. Yeah, he's a great mangaka, one of the classics. Nice. But yeah, we're trying to turn you into a convert, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's, you know, it's gonna be a long, slow process. Let's say. Not gonna be like
we'll get you there eventually.
Yeah,
and I think more than manga, you need to focus on a genre that you like. Because
definitely,
like American comics.
Yes.
I just like good stories, you know.
Okay.
You know, I don't if I'm getting good stories in manga, great. If I'm getting it in American comics, less these days, but still there, great. You know, novels, television, whatever. If it's a good, well-told story, I'm on board.
Nice. Well, there's definitely a lot of good, well-told stories in manga. So, there's just got to find which one's for you.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about artwork. You guys want to see? Okay. My place is a mess right now for reasons, but partly it's because I was a whirling dervish last night. I went to Walmart and got a bunch of frames and got one of those paper slicers and stuff, and so I've been working on framing artwork. But you guys want to see some of the artwork in my place?
Sure,
of course.
Sure.
Okay. Nice, man. Let's check it out. We're going on the tour.
The tiki tour. Yeah. Like some of it, most of it's original, but I have a few things like, well, this one's mixed. There you go. So this is Bernie Gonzalez, the comic he does for Alterna, right?
Oh yeah, Midnight. Cool. Was it something Midnight, I believe, or something?
Yeah, just a second here. Midnight Mystery, I believe. Yeah. I actually had an advertisement in one of the issues there.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. That's cool.
And I backed. This is not original. But I backed Alternaween, and so they have a picture, a thing with all the Alterna characters.
Oh wow.
They're currently under the Alterna banner. Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So, and I know there's this artist named Mike Lynch who was trying to get rid of some stuff recently and raise some money, and you'll see a lot of Scrooge because he did a lot of Scrooge.
Here, you know what? Jeremy, you know what? Can you go back to the first couple real quick, or just show them off real quick? I'm gonna actually make you the whole screen here.
Yeah. Okay.
How can I do that? Cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think if.
That's
there we go. Okay. I did it. Yes, I did it.
My crazy hair. Okay. Bernie Gonzalez for Midnight Mystery. This is a print and some original artwork combined.
Nice.
Yeah. This is
the Alterna.
All the comics or all the characters currently being published by Alterna, as far as I know, or at least representatives of the comics. It's kind of like the Wikid magazine cover where you use examples of everyone.
Yeah.
This is Mike Lynch doing one of the Scrooges. I have like 8 Scrooge type characters that he did. He also did. Let's see if you guys know this one.
That's from Unbreakable, right?
Oh,
yeah,
no, it's Unbreakable. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah. So here's a couple more. I haven't put them in yet, but here's a couple more Scrooges.
Cool.
Yeah.
That one's a Scrooge McDuck.
Let me see. I think the best thing to do here is just turn around and see if we can get him in the background here. Okay. Do we know this guy? Let's see. Here.
We got a Two-Face, I see, on the middle.
That guy though.
On the left there. Is that a Clint Eastwood or something? What is that?
Hey, bye. Who's this?
That's Zach.
Yep.
Zach, really?
Yeah, Justin Wisniewski did a picture of him.
Yeah, but that's so wrong. You need to put it. You need to put it on an altar and
oh my God.
John Langley, he's done some stuff with Nasser Abadi. He did this,
nice.
And he's also drawing a comic for me called AUMF.
Nice.
Yeah, Rusty Cage. When you backed his comic, you could do it at a level where you got an original drawing.
Very nice.
Yeah. This I won in an Alterna contest.
Is that a sketch card?
Yeah, it's a sketch card. Oh, you want to see another cool sketch card? I got Peter to do a sketch card of Stan Lee.
Oh, that's fun.
Stay, maybe. All right. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff here. I have a whole shelf full of Larry King stuff.
Oh my God.
Let's see if I can find his comic now. Of course I would lose it. Again, this place is a train wreck of my own making. There it is. So he's the most recent comic is Neon Trash.
Neon Trash. Interesting. Oh, I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And every time he does a comic, I get him to do a commission while I'm at it.
Oh, that's cool.
And mostly it's 80s stuff, right? So John Sable, freelance. The Great American Hero.
The memories.
Oh, yeah. My personal spirit animal, Condor Man.
Condor Man.
Yeah.
I love that movie when I was a kid.
So much fun. And then I got him to do Peter Simeti as a superhero.
Oh.
There's a guy named Mark Oakley. He did a comic called Thieves and Kings, and that's what he's probably most famous for. I backed him on Patreon, and he sent me that. One of the guys that did a pinup for Movie Man is named Sean Hall, and these are his original characters, Dirk Brody and I don't know, Tad, I think is the name of the kid. Well, I think we'll finish here with a couple more. But this is a original couple panels from Berserkernaut.
Berserkernaut, what's that one?
I love that guy's style.
Yeah, Jeff Lasley did a comic that was on Indiegogo.
Really? When was that? I must have missed that one somehow.
It's still available, actually. He's kept the
really?
Man store open. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to go check it out. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. And I got this Death's Head, the original Death's Head. Yeah.
I gotta say, you have an exquisite taste in comics.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Ian did that with why am I not remembering the name? The comic that Joey Turnage did. And I backed Amazing Age #0 at a art level. And so Jeremy Massey did a couple different characters in the commission for me here.
That one came out nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that's pretty good for now. But wanted
Jeremy,
to give you guys.
Neostar says, "Nice, Jeremy. He likes your collection." Nicholas says, "Awesome." Yeah, man, that's quite the collection you got there.
I am really proud of it. I should. I don't know. You're not sure how much you should talk out of school. My sister-in-law always talks about how she has tickets to the or she is one of the sponsors of the symphony. Like, I'm a sponsor of the arts, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Look, have you seen my collection? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's it's cool that you have a spot to put them all too. You know, that's nice.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what I want to do is there's a, let's see if you can see this. That wall over there that just has one picture on it. I want to have like a mesh where I can just hang tons of stuff there. But I got to convince the wife that's a good idea first.
That's always the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Thanks for showing us that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure it seems like it'll just keep growing and growing as the time goes on here.
I think I need a bicanalis something on my.
I was actually going to suggest that. I mean, I only need you to tell me what you would like me to draw. Like a self-portrait or something. Maybe a nude.
There you go, Adam. You could be Adam. This like the sketch of Adam.
I will draw like one of my French guys.
Nice. Oh, that's funny, man.
Okay, moving on. This is creepy enough already.
I'll give you points for the Titanic reference. You know. What's that?
You give him points for the Titanic reference. I said, but our art will go on.
Nice.
I used to respect James Cameron. I used to be a big fan of his.
Oh my god, dude, we could go all day on James Cameron, dude. And he did a Battle Angel Alita, and that was pretty dope. But he didn't direct it, so there's that too. But he also didn't direct Terminator: Dark Fate, and that still sucked. So who knows?
I think he's busy with his Blue Cat People from Space movies right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was doing that. That's right. Yeah, he has Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the way.
Is he shooting them all at once or what?
I don't know if I actually don't know about that. That's an interesting question. I wouldn't doubt it, honestly, though, because they supposedly have a release date is I think next year's the next one, and then they have like 3 movies that come out within like 4 or 5 years of each other.
Yeah, he might have been shooting several movies at once. That would explain one of the reasons it's been so long.
I could see that. Yeah, it could be.
Apparently, it's going to be like this is what I heard. I don't know if it's accurate, but it's going to be, he's done all that crazy underwater stuff and wants to show it off, and so he's going to do some movie that's almost entirely underwater.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's James Cameron. You said is going to do that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because he's done documentaries where they do undersea,
right,
shooting
like,
and whatnot.
Yeah, like they did that Titanic one, where they went back to the wreckage.
Obviously there's the Titanic, and the wreckage stuff, but he's done other stuff too.
Oh, really?
And he pioneered new cameras and stuff to shoot underwater. That's one of the.
I think he broke like a record or something, right? I think he went like deeper than anyone else in Mariana's Trench or something like that.
Something like that. I mean, he's done crazy stuff underwater. So I think that's what he's doing with at least one of the forthcoming Avatar movies.
Ooh, that'd be dope. Honestly, that'd be pretty cool. Underwater Avatar. You thought we were already blue? This is gonna be way more blue.
Eternal Games is here. Hello.
Hello.
That is.
He says Avatar 1 was a snooze fest.
That's Kevin. That's Kevin.
Fair enough. Not everyone's a fan of the Avatar. I understand.
It's not a great movie. It's just that he pioneered. He always
so much technology.
Yeah, it's 3D movies are because of that movie.
Yeah, I do love, and they did some pretty innovative stuff from my understanding with Alita Battle Angel as well. So it's like, yeah, I always love him trying to push boundaries with technology like that. I can appreciate that at least.
Yeah.
But on a side note, Neostar asks, "Hey Canales, how do you feel about doing a comic with gunslinging wizards?"
Oh well, that sounds pretty cool. I haven't drawn anything magical in a while since Tombstone Blue, so yeah.
And is that referring to which comic then?
I'm sorry, what?
Gunslinging wizards. What is that referring to?
Gunsling Wizards.
I'm assuming is that one of your Indiegogo comics, perhaps? Or is he asking you? Oh, is he asking you like to make a new comic?
Oh yeah, no. No, if we're talking about Necromancer, yeah, Jacob wants me to do another one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and at this time, apparently, well, I actually offered it myself to do it. I mean, I told him that this time, since it's going to take us a long while to do it, probably coming out in 2021, this time it's going to be fully painted, like like the cover and the covers in the first one. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting experiment because I don't think I've ever done that before.
I really liked the physical product, how it came out. It looked, there were a lot of distinctive things about it. Your artwork was great. It was totally on point. I liked the lettering of all things that he did. I think the story was a great setup, and also just physically, it was a very sturdy comic book. That
I noticed. I mean, when it came my way, I was surprised of how rigid the cover was.
Yeah.
We got Sporkman in the chat. What up, Spork?
Hey, Spork.
Hey.
Hello.
By the way, congratulations on the accelerated rate of coloring. Those pages as they come in are looking great. I really am looking forward to Sporkman Goes to Japan.
Yeah, I know, right? That should be releasing sometime next year, right?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Hopefully,
a thick book
as early as possible.
It's gonna have 3 full issues, I believe, in it. A full trade paperback of it.
I want to wait until that gets into people's hands before I launch Movie Man 2 because it's a crossover with Sporkman.
I think it's smart, honestly. Get those original Sporkman backers fulfilled so they don't feel like maybe this is too early or jumping the gun or something.
Yeah. I very much want to, it's gonna. Doug obviously does it, and he has a real job and stuff, and so he's got to do it, part time. But I'm liking the progress he's making. It's looking really good. It's getting me excited.
Yeah, no, that was good, man. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
Sort of so, how in comics if you were doing this all on paper, right? What people would tend to do is they draw thumbnails and say, so an artist would say, or sorry, a writer would say, blah, 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 blah. This is the story. Here's what how many panels this should have. Here's where, this is in Africa. A cheetah attacks this guy and he says, ouch. And then the cheetah says, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know, something. Right. And a lot of times you would have someone who would draw a mock-up. The artist then would draw a mock-up of that called thumbnails and say, does this look approximately like what you were going for? Right. And then the writer can say, yeah, but change this or that kind of thing. And so then you put the thumbnails to the side and look at them and then do the actual physical page. And with digital comics, though, you can have full-size thumbnails that you just build upon, right? So you start, you say, here's what the page is starting to look like. What do you think? Should we change anything? And you say, yeah, that's not sporky enough or whatever. And then, he just builds upon that rather than having to set it to the side and do extra effort. But I specifically said to him, save this version because we might want to use it as a, an ash can or something because my wife and I walked down the length of where this comic is supposed to take place and took pictures. And in the early version, at least, he just dumped the pictures right in. and showed how the drawings would interact with that. And
that's cool.
So cool.
Nice. That's interesting. Yeah, kind of a mixture of real life with the drawing a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously by the time that it's in the comic, it'll look somewhat different. But it's really cool to see that, and so I think I want to have some version where people can kind of get a behind the scenes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, that would be problem with, because we took the pictures. There's not one of the problems with a lot of photo references that you're using, photos that you found on Google or whatever. You can't obviously reproduce those. But in this case, we took the photos, so we own them. That I think that would be a really cool thing to offer people.
Yeah, I could see that as being even an extra perk on the crowdfunding or something.
Yeah,
that could be pretty cool.
For sure.
Nice.
You gotta come up with original perks which don't include, showing your nipples on stream and stuff like that.
So if I'm sorry.
No,
I was gonna say, you guys are all talking about American comics and stuff, and one thing that I've been really, really wanting to do is actually read some more popular American comics, not necessarily popular, but more of something I could kind of have a good start with. So I kind of wanted to read Deadpool, but I don't even know how to go about doing it.
Okay, here's my recommendation. Don't. I know this is gonna get. I don't mean to hate on superheroes because I know everybody loves superheroes, but as a new comic reader, going into a superhero comic to me is probably one of the worst ideas because there's so much history, so much interconnectivity with other characters, a giant world that you don't know anything about. I would start with something from Image, something more self-contained where you're getting a story in one series. That's my personal take. Because I just get overwhelmed by superheroes. That's personally why I never got into the superhero comic genre.
Yeah,
it's so overwhelming.
It's funny because I was actually talking to my husband about it not that long ago, and I was just asking him, I just don't understand how it works. And he's like, so essentially, it's a new story arc for a whole other different scenario or something like that.
Right. And you coming from manga, it's going to confuse you because manga typically is a serialized story. So you're getting a story told over a long period of time, but you're seeing the same characters and you're getting long development, almost like a soap opera. It's a serialized.
If you want to get into American superhero comics where you're not having to deal with a lot of continuity, because that it's a two-edged sword, because a lot of people like it, but it's a barrier to entry for new readers.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would suggest getting Invincible Volume 1. Going from there, it's the best example of superhero comics in recent years.
That's a great recommendation. Yeah.
And I would even get the big hardcover volume, because that's either 10 or 12 issues instead of 6. And yeah, that is, and it's a great 1-year story arc and sets up what comes after that. And it's a you don't have to, there's no history that you have to know going into it, and it's a very, very good story.
And it's also written by one of my favorite writers, Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, he's the Walking Dead guy.
Yeah. I love his stuff. He also writes a couple of comics, Outcast, which is more a horror story about demons, and then he also does one called Oblivion Song, which is kind of like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi story.
Yeah.
He does a lot of stuff. I love his writing, honestly.
I really want to read a superhero comic. I guess that's I should have called it, but I just didn't know that was a genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're into other things and willing to experiment with other things, I would recommend checking out IDW's older series like 30 Days of Night, or stuff like they used to put out before they went to hell. But they used to publish really good, not really superheroic, but more horror, sci-fi, more alternative type of stuff with more sketchy style and more alternative subjects. And for a while, it looked like it worked for them, and there's some really good stuff there.
Yeah, they still do some good stuff. It's just it's intermixed with crap. They started, they picked up Usagi Yojimbo and have started coloring it. And I think that I don't think that Stan Sakai has lost anything in terms of storytelling.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I would say obviously you said you want to start in superheroes, and so yeah, Invincible might be a good one just because of that, for that reason of not having that extra baggage. But I personally I think there's so many other great genres in comics these days. From horror to fantasy to action.
Yeah, there is.
I really love Image Comics. I love Dynamite. They do a lot of really good licensed stuff. If you're into that.
I've heard that My Hero Academia is similar to an American comic. Is that true?
I don't know. I couldn't say it. I honestly couldn't say. I wouldn't think so, but
I never watched My Hero Academia, so I don't know.
I've seen the anime, and the anime is it's probably the closest to a American superhero genre, I suppose, other than One Punch Man. But having said that, the story and the aesthetic are definitely still manga anime.
A lot of good things about One Punch Man, so much to the point where I'm like getting ready to watch it.
Yes, but the second season is by a different animation studio, so brace yourself. It's some people don't like the second season as much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the animation, the fight scenes aren't quite as fluid or dynamic this season around, I've noticed.
I'll have to check them all out.
But definitely, My Hero Academia is a really great emotional story. This kind of story that really makes you get inspired and want to do your best and create stuff. And it's just it's a cool story.
A lot of my friends like it.
It's really popular.
I think I went to go try to watch it, and I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't. I think it was like right around the time I tried to watch Hunter x Hunter, and that didn't work anymore. So. Usually I'll know if I'll like something within like the first episode.
Brett says My Hero Academia and One Punch Man are basically shonen with a superhero twist.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate, yeah.
I love shonen.
Yeah, is that your favorite genre?
Yeah, it's my fave.
Nice. Even though I don't think that it's starring really isn't really a shonen, is it? Or are there some shonen elements, maybe?
It has a lot of shonen elements, but
nice.
It's a little of everything, really. Horror, thriller,
fantasy.
A lot of fantasy, more fantasy than anything.
But yeah, it's interesting. I would say, my top comics right now. Wow, what am I reading right now? What about you, John? You got any top comics, Eric Canales?
You mean of all time or recent?
Because just more recent, more recent stuff.
More recent. Yeah. That's a good question. I've been thoroughly enjoying Hellraiser from Boom Studios.
Hellraiser, like as in Pinman?
Yeah, as in the
nice.
horror franchise. They're like publishing like an alternate sequel to the movies, to at least the first three movies, which are the only ones who are the only ones who are decent enough. And I think they have been like overseen by Clive Barker himself, so I guess that's why they aren't entirely horrible.
Wait, what? You don't like Clive Barker?
No, that's what I meant. I mean, the fact that Clive Barker is overseeing them means it's why they are entirely horrible.
Oh, they aren't.
I do like Clive Barker.
I thought you said they are entirely horrible.
No, they are. No, that's the language barrier at work.
Right.
Oh, and also, I happened to run into a Quake Champions comic book a couple of years ago, and it was really good, and I really recommend it.
What was
based on the video game Quake Champions, based on
really?
The video game of the same name. Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
Oh, interesting.
I recently read Jeff Lemire's Hit Girl in Canada.
Hit Girl in Canada?
Well, it's Mark Millar's property, but he farms it out now to other writers, and so Jeff Lemire did the Canadian. Who is Canadian. Did the Canadian story.
Oh,
I actually wrote on Mark Millar's Twitter. I'm like, hey, if you want to hit Girl in Seattle,
you know to hit up.
And I know his name is technically Mark Miller, but when you spell your name like that, I'm going to pronounce it like that.
Mark Millar. Mark Millar. It is fun to say like that.
This is Scottish, so you should probably pronounce it Millar, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I like that. I this wasn't. I don't know. I guess it was a little while ago I read this, but I really, really, really like Iron Sight also, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. So, yeah, I like it for a number of reasons. I think it's a great story. It surprised me at several different turns. I like it by his art, but I like something else about it is that he gets to be a better artist as the story goes along, and you can watch him mature as an artist, and it's really great to see.
I think that's a problem, quotation marks, that I have, because I always need a couple of pages, at least a few pages, to warm up to the project. Yeah. So at first I'm always a bit wonky, and then I get the gist of it, and I can get the rhythm, and my art slowly becomes where I'm more comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's true. But I also think you leveled up. You became a better artist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because that's probably the first comic in which I had to draw normal people doing normal stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Decimators is a lot of people in battle armor, a lot of zombies, a lot of crazy action.
Yeah, I always say that I thank Zach for taking me out of my comfort zone and forcing me to draw stuff.
Has anyone ever read the comic Black Science before?
I haven't.
No.
It's by Rick Remender. But I've always looked. It always looked interesting, but never got into it. It's still an ongoing one, but just even the name Black Science sounds cool. Just sounds interesting. Like, right? Yeah. I thought so. Yeah. But well, that's cool. So, definitely get some Iron Sight. Can people still get Iron Sights, or is it out of print at this point?
I think you can get a bundle with the sequel and the first one.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
Yeah, let me check.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's actually, that accounts for half the sales right there. It's people buying Volume 1 along with 2.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah,
I always like that you get another chance to pick it up if you missed it.
Well, that's actually one of the things that Indiegogos and Kickstarters have over the local comic store right now, because it can be really hard to get back issues because there isn't a decent reorder service. Diamond sucks at it, and the people who used to do it went out of business. So now when people are doing these funders, they always offer people the opportunity to get the earlier issues, so that you're not coming into the middle of a story and being lost.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we are getting towards the end of our time here. We'll start wrapping up in the next couple of minutes, and we'll go on to the next segment. We got some of the Mythoverse guys coming on.
Very cool.
But what do you guys got going on for the rest of the day?
It's support your local comic shop day, so I'll try to get down to the comic shop. I have a bunch of comics that need to be bagged and boarded. I'll bring those, and I'll pick up my my polls while I'm there.
Nice. Well, that sounds like a good day.
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
I am going, I guess, out for the day somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing really yet.
More writing, maybe.
I'm trying to find my cat. I can't find her.
Yeah, that's true. Again, good luck today. I hope you find her as a guy or a girl cat.
She's a girl. Her name's Bella.
Bella.
She just ran right out the door.
My
boy. Door was an inch from being shut.
Jeez. Oh yeah. I hope you find her.
Well, cats are liquid, so it's no wonder that she managed to slip through the crack and disappear.
I'm sure she'll be back later. I'm sure you guys will. Yeah.
But other than that, not much. Not much today.
And Canals, what about you, sir?
Well, I'm living La Vida Loca, so I am possibly gonna take my mom to the movies tonight.
Nice, that's really fun.
Yeah, it's movies and rum and coke day for the Canales family.
Rum and cokes can't go wrong, man.
Yeah. What's your rum of choice?
I'm not particular, but I usually ask Bacardi.
Nice. You got to go with Bacardi.
Bacardi. I don't know how you guys pronounce it. Bacardi.
Yeah. If you want a really fun day, go with Kraken.
Kraken, huh? Well, I like how that sounds, so I'll see the Kraken touch.
But you got to say it. Release the Kraken.
Fuck the
Yeah, I've had Kraken before. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good brand.
But it's more alcoholic than most whiskeys. So.
Oh man.
Well, I've always liked drinks that can strike paint. So
There you go. So.
Nice, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on for this first segment. Why don't you guys tell us where people can follow you online and so they can see more of your stuff?
Yeah, go to Twitter, and I'm at Jeremy Lott Diary.
Jeremy Lott Diary. And do you have a YouTube yet? Have you started the YouTube?
I haven't started YouTube, and I don't know if I will now. They're going to fine everyone.
Yeah, what's going on with that stuff? Every day it seems like there's some new controversy around YouTube.
I think they'll back down on a lot of it, but right now it's like all these comic book people who like they started these big shows, these big channels to try to monetize them and sell comics, and watch YouTube ends up just kicking everyone off, and we have to go shoot or something.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to Rooster Teeth podcast a while back, and they were talking about how it's always about a new platform, and there's always new things coming out, and to get on the ground floor to those things is how a lot of these big companies start. But he even said even YouTube is not going to be around one day. Like he was he even believed that one day there'd be an alternative to YouTube that will get bigger, because nothing ever can stay 100% permanent like that.
Exactly.
So it's just interesting that But yeah, so go ahead and check his Twitter out. Like I was saying, that's at Jeremy Lott Diary. And where can people follow you, Natalie?
You can follow me, Jupiter Ripple on Twitter. But follow the Starring page at Starring Manga, because I have some cool artwork coming.
Nice, some new stuff.
Yeah, we got some new stuff in.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
We're almost done the first chapter, so that's exciting.
Yeah, the first episode, I suppose.
First episode, yeah, the first episode. I'm excited for that.
Nice. Well, congratulations on being nearly finished with that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Canals, what about you? Where can we check out your stuff, if anywhere?
Well, you can follow me, because I'm done pretending I'm not me, on Twitter at Decimator's Art. And you can also follow me on Instagram, which I haven't updated in a while because I'm crazy busy. And you can also friend me on Facebook, because I'm friendly like that.
And you can also back him on Indiegogo.
Oh, that's true. Thank you for reminding me, because I'm also not the best PR guy ever.
Oh,
so
right,
yeah, back either Iron Sights or SOS Volume 1.
I was about to say, yeah.
Back both.
Right? Back both. You got 2 Canals' books you can get right now. Don't miss out. And if you missed out on the first Iron Sights, then there's 3 books you can get.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got a lot.
I think I'm gonna do a couple of posts or tweets on Twitter after this, and I'm gonna the shot chaser thing. I'm gonna I'll link to Iron Sights 2 and then SOS, and I'm gonna say headshot chaser.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, you know what?
It's funny, it's even better.
Right, and what's great about
I'm sorry.
That's Canals for you.
Well, I'm loving being the headshot guy. I'm not gonna lie.
I know it's become your specialty, really.
Yeah, I mean, whenever someone has someone losing their heads in their comic books, they always call me.
Yeah.
You should totally get a business card that says artist/headshot specialist.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna print some of those. Yes.
Nice.
And what's great about that too is Ibai's also really good at headshots. I mean, have you seen his photo shoots? They're incredible. I mean, it's just amazing what he can do. Well, awesome, guys. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us for a little while.
Of course.
And hopefully we'll see you guys next time.
Absolutely.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you.
Yeah.
Welcome. I'm getting a little. Oh.
Hey guys.
I'm getting a little feedback. I think on one of your guys' mics.
Oh fuck.
I'm thinking I know who.
Yes, it was Brett.
I was muted, so.
Hey Chuck. Hey Matt.
Hey.
How's it going, Chuck? We haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, I'm just popping in for a couple minutes.
No
here,
worries, man.
Still at work. Just wanted to pop in for a couple minutes and give a quick update.
Nice, I appreciate that. And I know you mentioned also that you might be able to kind of have more freedom in the near future on weekends. Is that right? Oh, maybe not. I think I scared him away.
You certainly do have the effect.
I do. I think I'm just too. It's my energy. I too have too much energy. You know, it's off-putting to some people.
Whoops! I guess I might go on too.
Oh God! Here we go. So, here we go. We're gonna start up Death Stranding now. Get ready for Death Stranding, guys.
The walking simulator.
That's right.
Sorry, I somehow got kicked out.
No worries. No worries. Welcome back, both of you. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
I'm excited right now. We got a lot of pages coming in from Ginger.
Nice. Yeah, I know how progress on that has been pretty good, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I'm really pleased with what she's turning in. So
nice, man. And do you guys have an update as when you guys think we might be shipping?
Right now it's too early to tell because we're not even. We got about let's see, 26, 30. We got about 8 more pages for volume 1, and so we're not even a third of the way through yet. So.
Okay, so but I mean, it is a graphic novel. It's a full length, book.
Yeah,
so it's a lot to.
Yeah, what people don't realize, this isn't compared to a lot of the other ones. This is 91 pages, plus this is not including the artwork. This isn't 26 pages. So,
yeah, that's pretty wild.
But things are going a little bit quicker because Ginger just turned in. This past week alone, she's done 4 pages. So and she's getting better and better. I know she learned a lot of tips on working on Changeling. So
right, yeah.
I have faith that we're gonna get done quicker. I don't want to push her. That's the only thing.
No, that totally makes sense. And
when Ginger sets her mind to something, she's a machine.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting you brought up that she worked on Changeling as well. Like, how was that for you, Brett? Working with her.
Like I said, it was just because it was like the first time she had worked on something that big. There was a bit of a learning curve for her. It was a learning curve for all of us, to be honest. But
really,
she was kind of figuring out things on the fly. But like I said, when Ginger puts her mind to something, like. You'll know. Chuck knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, the one big thing about with Ginger, our comic compared to challenged her as a colorist because we're dealing with a lot of bright colors and explosions and whereas with Changeling she can learn a lot of the basic stuff. You know what I mean, and use that as art.
It wasn't just that. She also taught me a lot of what was. Challenging about Sporkman compared to Changeling was that she was working with environments she didn't have a lot of familiarity with too.
Japan, in particular, you mean?
Not just that. Well, not just Japan. Like she's never seen a military base. She's never really
superheroes.
She's never really been to a museum. Like as opposed to Changeling, which is basically a small town surrounded by forests. That's something that's kind of familiar to her.
Okay, I can see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. It takes you out of the comfort zone a little bit. You have to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So so we've been doing a lot of back and forth. Like, she came to me, she's like, hey, I see you a lot better with asking for directions on like what needs to be done and stuff like that. So so it is a big, huge learning curve for like Brett said, for all of us, because this is the first time we're working with a full-blown colorist on this amount of pages. Mentions it was kind of the same way as Changeling was, but we had different colorists who had been in the industry for a while. So, so with Sporkman Goes to Japan, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's probably good for her too, though, to get all that experience.
Oh yeah, it will be. And then,
yeah, because I like to use her with the work. with the work she's doing on Sporkman, I really want to use her on the next series, because her coloring is she just she's ratchet everything up to 11, and I have been pleased with every page she puts in.
It's hard to believe that she thinks her best work is in black and white.
I know. I know. It's like, Ginger, she's very humble, because I have to say, like, her best work is, I think she's great in black and white, but I think she is just fantastic. Like, she is, to me, I think she's pro level, or very close to pro level in coloring.
You know, I wonder if it's comes from more of a place of that she just really loves line art. Because I know when I work with Jeff, he always talks about how he got into comics because of the line art, in particular.
I think she tweeted out once that she likes black and white because it quote unquote appeals to her inner hipster.
That's fair. Oh, that's funny, man. Well, yeah, it is interesting to see now that she's worked on 2 different Wicked books. You know. That's pretty awesome. I always like to see different artists making their way through the Wikid creators.
Honestly, that's kind of something that's Matt and I sort of discussed with like Dan. I mean, like, something we learned about what we did is that we actually gave a lot of people career opportunities.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Like, not just the people we were working with directly, like some of the artists we commissioned just for merchandise, there's Lenore. She's doing, like, she designs. We got her designing logos for some of our other books. We got Matt. Count me out here, because I'm operating on like probably 2 or 3 hours of sleep at most, and my brain is just not like at full power right now.
Yeah, these things are so early for us on the West Coast.
Even more early because I barely slept last night.
Right. We were gonna say that, Matt.
Well, unfortunately, you're talking about Ginger, who I don't work with.
Yeah, but like we got other artists that we work with. They're like
Antonella.
Yeah, we got. There's also we also got Lenore. We also got like seriously, help me out.
Beth. Leandro.
We had Moe Prosciutto do some merch designs for us.
Yep. Raven's done some artwork for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's kind of all the other artists that we're bringing on with hopefully the future books too.
Well, right, not just that, but like think about all the fan art you guys have gotten too. Where people have been able to, do stuff for Changeling and Sporkman, and for, Mythics and for Adobe Kroger. These are people that would have maybe never gotten a chance to do something. They found something they gravitated to, and they were willing to do fan art for these projects.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I love the fan art. That's so cool to see once people start putting in fan art for you. That is so nice.
It's also pretty surreal.
I bet.
And it allows you to feel like you're actually connecting with the audience. When you don't get any fan art, you're like, oh, wow, people are actually gravitating towards this character who, we love it, but now it's recognizing with everybody else.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best signs you can see, honestly.
Yeah, it's true.
And yeah, it's just a nice feeling, I guess. Maybe one day I'll get there. Who knows?
Sounds like we got some static coming in.
Static? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think somebody's fiddling with their mic.
I'm hearing some static coming through. Maybe on your end, Brett.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Oh
Wouldn't
boy!
You know it? Wouldn't you know it?
So yeah, real quick, I just want to give everybody else a final update because I'm gonna have to go here.
Sure.
So yeah,
Okay,
we got 26 pages, colors.
Uh-oh. Crap. I guess he had
think-
to leave sooner than he realized.
I think the stag was probably coming from him.
Yeah, it does sound like that, doesn't it? Man, technical difficulties abound, my friend.
Yep. Cue technical difficulties.
Yay! So how's Mythachibis coming along?
Fun.
Yeah, I love the last one you guys put out, the Thanksgiving one.
Yep. And we're going to
fun.
be introducing more characters soon enough.
Nice, that's a great idea.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's gonna be fun though. So
Yeah, I love
funny.
Mythachibis. Fun and funny.
yep.
Let's see, is Brett's back. Hey, Brett.
Hey,
Everything we were just talking about the Mythochibis.
yeah, I heard.
I thought that was a really fun one that you guys put out.
Yeah. We got one. We still got one more. We still got one more strip for this month, and
Is it going to play on the Thanksgiving theme again?
oh yeah, it's
Nice.
in fact, it's kind of the last strip kind of dovetailed into this week's one.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
Yep. We find out what happened to the Thanksgiving feast.
Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling about this.
Well, you know, things happen.
I guess, for everyone who want to know, Chuck says, sorry, my phone doesn't like the StreamYard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's understandable.
I don't think they really need to work on like an app version or some shit.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So, what would Chuck want to say so we can say it for him?
Yeah, if you want to message us that, go ahead, Chuck. I'm not sure exactly where he was going myself. But I think he was going to give a final update on the project, I believe.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess we can give. Should we give updates on your guys' projects, or considering the print edition?
That would actually be cool. I mean, like, do we have any idea like what the status of the proof copies are right now?
The proof should be in the mail right now. He said he was shipping me out the other day, so I'm asked just to get double confirmation. So everything is 100% sure.
Yeah, it's the weekend though, so what can we expect? What, Monday, Tuesday?
Probably, yeah, I would think so. He'll get back to me today because he works on the weekends. So
well, not just the post office.
Not the post office, but he'll be able to give me an update on exactly when it'll arrive today. So I'll be able to let you know more probably later tonight once it gets back to me.
Well, I didn't assume the printer worked on the weekend either.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. He has a really busy work schedule, and he's gonna be changing it up. Part of the reason he's changing his processes is because he wants to stop working the weekends and have more time for his family.
Of course.
I mean that's fair.
Right, exactly. And so yeah, I think it's ultimately a good thing that he's doing that.
I'm not even gonna bother. Well, I would not even bother trying to get a hold of him this next week anyway.
Oh really? Oh, because of the holiday, you mean?
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's probably holding him up too. I bet. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should be good to go on that. They were all printed out last time. I said he was packaging them up for shipment. So.
Yeah, which is good. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely good to see that. I'll be able to send those over to you guys, and then once everyone has their copies, we can start going over them. That should take just 1 to 3 days to get to you. So it shouldn't be too long.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be nice to have that finally done with, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I've been waiting on this moment for like the better part of a year.
Yep. Although we're going to have to streamline everything, start playing out next year's Kickstarter so that we can have I tell the printer when we're going to need them done.
That is true.
How do you mean? How do you mean exactly?
we need to be more accurate with how we set the deadlines.
Right, you mean like in terms of setting the date for the campaign itself? Yeah, I think that's smart. I mean, it's hard to know when you're doing it the first, but now that you have more of an idea, you can build in those time for those delays, for those just the natural process of things, and yeah, I think next time we'll go a little bit more smooth in that regard.
Yeah, we completely overshot the September because we forgot to take into account that they needed they had the printer might be busy.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The printer could be busy, or there could just be issues with the files. All sorts of different things can pop up. So it's like it's always better to be safe than sorry. That's for sure. It's a.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think a lot of first campaigns go through that. It's hard to, especially on your first campaign, it's hard to know exactly how long these things are going to take. That stuff comes with experience, I think.
I guess that's sort of true to a point.
Like I'm sure even like some of the big people, like when Richard was working on Iron Sights and eBay, I'm sure they had an idea of where they wanted to go, and they probably made it within a certain time, but I probably bet it was slower than they had originally anticipated. Just because of the, what I mean?
It seems like there's a Jawbreaker's curse, though, because it seems like he's never able to do it on time.
Hey, well, is it the Jawbreaker's curse or is it the Cyberfrog curse?
It's the Jawbreaker's curse. The first one was late. The second one was late.
Second one's not out yet.
I believe it's late.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Richard even a good barometer for this? I mean, like, I would
maybe not.
I mean, look. I mean, I wouldn't want to look at guys like who've been doing this, like say Jimmy Palmiotti or Brian Polito.
Mm-hmm.
They're both very prompt on theirs.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as I know, neither one of them have failed to deliver on a campaign.
Yeah, the original shipping date for Jawbreakers Volume 2 was September 2019. Now it's moved to November 2019.
Which that's not going to happen.
Actually, I've seen reviews pop up, so he'll make the second one. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, all I was really trying to get at is that it's everyone has learning experiences on their first time, even people who have been doing it for so long,
Oh yeah, so
maybe.
Tim Lim, Doug Ernst.
It's the process. Something I always connected with is learning is a lifelong process. You should never truly stop learning or wanting to grow that knowledge, even if you're outside of school and stuff.
And my dad put it is the moment you think you've learned everything is when you really start getting stupid.
That's funny. Yeah, that's pretty true.
I have to say that we should also consider ourselves to be put under more scrutiny than others, mainly because we're putting out comics. There's a certain expectation that people will have for us, especially when we we're moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Neosource actually missed Doug's campaign. Who's he referring to there? Doug? Oh, Doug Tennepal?
No, Doug Ernst.
Oh, Doug Ernst. I'm not familiar with Doug Ernst.
Not very many people are these days.
Really? Huh? What is his project what's he do?
I had a late night, so I'm not.
Has everybody had a late night?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and look it up. I know because it's Soul Finder.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard that one. Huh. How about
it has Tim Lim as an artist?
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Hard to go wrong with that.
Nope.
Has any of you read? Doesn't Tim Lim do the My Hero parody?
Yep.
Yeah, My Hero Macadamia. Actually, he's got a. I think he also did Trump's Space Force.
Yeah.
He's got. Tim actually has a pretty prolific career.
He's got 9 books out now.
And he also does the Black Ops, right?
Yeah, he did that too.
Yeah, he's that's pretty incredible.
And he's doing a spin-off to My Hero Macadamia.
Right.
So,
anybody read that one yet?
The spin-off?
Or the original?
Oh,
I haven't. I mean, I keep hearing it's good.
Really? I'm hesitant just because of my love of the original. You know.
You sort of gotta take this as just. I heard it described like. Yeah, it's kind of like the sort of parody and satire you would get out of Mad Magazine.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. People obviously love it because did really well.
Yeah.
The hard thing about parodies is that parodies, especially with political parodies, is how far you're going to go. Because if you go too far on one side, it'll seem like propaganda. If you go too far on the other side, still propaganda. And none of those will tend to last long. But I've read Trump's Space Force, and they do a pretty good job of it, of keeping a balance.
Really?
Yep.
Let's see. Neostar also says that Brett Smith worked on that one.
I think he was.
Yep.
I haven't really kept up.
So, what have you guys been up to since the last time we caught up?
Right now we're working on revamping the Patreon so that we can get off having to rely on crowdfunding.
Nice.
Hopefully, build up some kind of subscription service or something.
We're also going to be working on getting Wikid books into local comic shops.
Heck yeah.
I've got about 3 out in Tacoma I can hit up.
Nice.
And we're going to hopefully we're able to have enough of our backers contact their own comic shops so that we can start entering those shops too.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah. Kind of try and help get it spread as far as possible.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I can't wait for the Alterna distribution. I think that'll be a big help too.
Oh yeah, how many stores are they going to be able to reach?
They didn't say how much their new program will reach, but I do know that they have a 200+ distribution network.
200 shops?
200+ shops and plus I think a bunch of other dollar stores and other kind of things.
Those will all actually help because the comic shops and dollar stores buying our books will also help with the production costs.
Say it again?
The production costs will be definitely helped by all those comic shops and dollar stores.
Oh, definitely.
Comics.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is very true. So yeah, that'll be cool. And so yeah, I don't know when he's gonna launch it. I think sometime next year, but we'll see. Yeah. It's crazy what happened with him recently, isn't it?
What? Oh, the printers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost their printer.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens.
Oh yeah, it's something I dread.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I know we need to get a backup printer in the back of our heads just because it's something that's probably going to happen one day. It's kind of
maybe it may happen, it might not happen. You never know.
Well, I mean, the thing is with our printer, he's an independent operation, so he doesn't necessarily have anyone to take on the legacy after he retires. So if he decided to stop doing it one day, we'd have to find someone new.
True.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a big fear, I bet, for most publishers, and they've been doing a good job. I heard he's talking with like 20 different printers and then testing out samples and really seeing what works best and their turnaround times and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of that whole thing that Mary Sue creator is doing with his self-printing thing?
Well, I think from the one hand, it's I gotta give props to George for at least having the gumption to go do it himself.
True.
I mean, for a one-man operation, I mean, like I guess it kind of actually makes a lot more sense to just, I mean, to buy a decent printer and just do the whole thing yourself. If you can do it, I say go ahead and do it.
All right, yeah, more power to you.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue I kind of took was that like when he was kind of offering his advice over to Peter, it was kind of in complete to the sort of scale of Peter's operation.
Yeah, it wasn't the best handled way to say it, perhaps.
I'll just say it was unsolicited advice.
Yeah, they both kind of had I think they were both having a bad day, honestly.
Yeah. Although it's not very different compared to Peter talking about newsprint. So all I'm talking up to is Peter had a bad day, and that was pretty much something he wasn't really he didn't really want to deal with at the moment.
Right, yeah. And but you always got to remember to stay professional, even in those hard times.
I get it, but it's just like
anyway.
I understand. I mean, I agree with that, but it's just like when you're having a bad day, the last thing you want is unsolicited advice.
Well, I agree. At the same time, I mean, maybe it's just my personal opinion, but I would say it's best if you don't have anything nice to say. It's the golden rule: don't say it at all.
Okay, let's just move on from this. It's not going anywhere.
I would agree. It's just like, but yeah, I mean, like if you can, my point. I'll just go back to what I said before. If you've got the means to do it yourself, go ahead and do it.
Okay. Well, I mean that's fair, and that was the original question, I suppose, as well. I'm just saying as a coming from another publisher, that's just my personal take, and
moving on.
I really think I want to say that, like I firmly stand by that belief that customer is always right, and that we are here for the customers, as a publisher, as a creator, that's what we should be here for.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was just friendly advice taken in the wrong way, so it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't see it. I honestly thought I didn't see it as a big deal. But yeah, we can move on. I just wanted to say I just wanted to, that's my stance on as a publisher. But
I can see
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Well, okay, we're just gonna move on.
Sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to upset you.
Well, the thing, I got tired of it after the 500th time someone decided to bring that topic back up.
Well, see, we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, so I just thought it was kind of relevant.
Not really, though. So, but
well,
hey.
I mean, a little bit. It is indie comics, so it kind of is relevant.
But like I said, I kind of would have to echo Brian from the Rags team. Like he had a good take on this. Like he said, it's not going to work for everyone, but in the hands of the right creator, it can be like doing the whole operation yourself. It can be deadly.
We are not good at moving on.
Matt, stop. We're adults here. We can have a conversation, man. We can be civil and have a conversation. Just because we don't agree on each other doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we said earlier, hey, let's move on.
You said that.
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, I'm just saying, man, we got to be able to be adults and talk about these things, even though they're controversial.
Is it though? Because it was done on the exact day that it happened, and I don't see it as any of our business.
Well, they did it publicly, so.
Yeah, but it was over in old news now, so.
I just don't see the harm in bringing it up. I guess it's just talking. We're just talking here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But fine, we'll go ahead and move on now.
Here's a question. I mean, like, so next year you brought up possibly heading out to ECC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is there? Do we have like any other idea like how much further we plan on maybe going as far as cons go? Like right now, I know like Wikid's kind of limited to how far it can travel, being on with how small we are.
Right.
At the moment, but like, let's just hypothetically say 5 years. Here's like, can we get like out as far out as Texas maybe?
Probably, I would say for sure. You know, I mean, we want to go out to New Mexico next year if possible. So I mean, yeah, I could see Texas for farther than that. You know, who knows? New York Comic Con would be a pretty cool one to do.
Yeah, New York Comic Con's not so sure about. I'm about to say anything about the larger cons like San Diego or New York.
Yeah, those aren't good ideas. They to be more of a.
In my opinion, they've kind of more become like really expensive trade shows for TVs and movies.
That sounds like the San Diego Comic Con.
But they both are.
Yeah.
I would say that about both of them. It's like we are on it. Like I'd say, like if we want stuff that's actually dedicated to the comics and not just the stuff that's based on them, I honestly feel like the smaller cons are our better bet.
But if we get big enough to go to those the bigger conventions, we definitely should not turn them down.
Maybe not.
Yeah, they both have their merits, I think.
But right now, where we're at as a smaller group, that's a massive waste of money.
For what, the big ones, the super big ones?
Yeah, New York Comic Con, the San Diego Comic Con, those are. We're not going to get any traffic because that's going to be all about the big publishers, the TV shows, the movies.
Yeah, and it costs like, I think like base price at San Diego Comic Con is like $3,000.
Jeez.
Booth. Yeah, that doesn't include anything extra either.
Like I said, that's a waste of money.
True.
I don't even want to fucking know what the hotel costs are like.
Oh my god, yeah, Jesus. My new thing is I do Airbnb because it's so much cheaper. That's my new jam. I found a Airbnb that was like $50 a night in downtown LA, right, like a block away from the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. It was so good. That was for when we went to Alien Con last year, I guess. Or was it this year? I guess it was this year. I don't know. But on some more positive news, I got a cool email. Where is it? From Comixology.
Really?
Barrels #1 will be available on Comixology on November 27th.
Oh, good.
Hey.
And I'm assuming that the goal is to get pretty much all our books up on the Comixology, right?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about uploading some more as well. Start building that catalog now that Comic Central is no more.
Yeah, that is a real bummer,
right?
Because Comic Central was about like the best way for people at our level to sort of get at least digitals out on the market.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that they weren't making any money off it.
Okay, hold up. What?
They really weren't making any money off it because they'd have all these server costs that they'd have to pay for.
Oh yeah,
it can really sink a business.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I did not know that. That's just
And who was that again?
Comic Central.
Comic Central. Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, it sucks because they had so many. I mean, they had all these people uploading, and they had people buying, and they had built up an enormous market. But for some reason, yeah, just I don't know if it was because of the pricing model or what, but it was just too much. They couldn't keep it going.
As far as I can tell, all the comics were pretty well priced on Comic Central. I think if anything, I bet they probably just were not getting enough traffic.
Well,
I don't know about that.
I know what the problem is.
Really?
It's all of the comics that were uploaded on there.
Really?
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, when you think about taking into account server and data, you've got a lot of data that's getting put onto the server. So they'll increase the server costs and go from there. It gets to a point where they can't afford it anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess these sales weren't enough to outset each of those things.
It's one of the reasons why YouTube isn't making any money.
Yeah, I've heard YouTube's a losing business.
Yeah, because
YouTube has not made a profit off for Google like ever. That is how bad. That is how bad.
Well, it makes sense. They have a free thing where people can upload videos, and like you said, that's going to increase their servers exponentially because they have so many videos. And I heard there's like a statistic or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's like some crazy amount of videos are uploaded to YouTube every second. Let me see if I can find that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, right?
Yep.
It says the total number of people who use YouTube is 1,300,000,000. 300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. 300 hours every minute.
Yep.
That's there's no way to keep up with that.
And there's a certain amount of money that they have to pay just to keep those up.
True, yeah.
Yeah, if they have not turned a profit at all, it's amazing Google hasn't shut them down yet.
Well, that's an interesting question. I wonder if it's just because of the brand power they have.
I mean, that's definitely one thing, but it's like, I mean, just think about it. You got this one. You're a major corporation, and you got this one branch that just does not turn a profit at all, and yet you're still keeping it around.
Well,
true.
Well, there's Sony in most of their branches. The only branches that actually make money for Sony is PlayStation and accounting.
How about with ad revenue? Do they get any money with ad revenue?
Google does, but not enough.
So it's not. That's weird.
It's kind of why I think, like, I've talked with some people, and there seems to be this theory that they want to see this theory that wow, I'm so tired. I'm getting everything. That YouTube seems to want to go the Netflix route, like they want to go to a subscription service.
Yeah.
Who does?
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Oh, really?
Like,
Oh, yeah. Well, they tried that though, didn't they? With the YouTube Red
not
and
just YouTube
originals.
Red. I'm talking writ large. Like it would, like you would actually have to pay just to have an account to upload.
Oh wow. Damn. Wow, that'd be a big change, wouldn't it?
It's kind of like Patreon and their new model.
There's a new Patreon model?
Well, their paid subscription model.
Really? What is having a paid Patreon? Wait, you pay to have your own Patreon?
Yeah.
How does that help?
It makes some money.
Huh. Although this is interesting, Matthew Reese in the chat says, as a loss leader to Google gets a tax write-off for the money they lose in YouTube as a loss leader. So it's I could see that. I was wondering because if for them to do it, they'd have to have an incentive for wanting to do it or wanting to continue running a loss leader business like that. So it makes sense. But still crazy to think about that they aren't making any money on it.
Yeah, well.
But
there's got to be. They obviously see some kind of value in it. I don't know, but it's like
there will always be a new platform. So like I was saying earlier, there will always be a replacement down the line.
Problem is that Google has all the deals with the for the ad revenue, so any new platform is doomed to fail because they're not going to have the same deals that Google has.
True, but at the same time, look at how Facebook was the dominant thing, and then rather MySpace was the dominant one, and then Facebook took over. New IPs
though.
can.
But there's a difference in that Google has the ability to make to keep YouTube. A small business isn't able to. They're going to have massive costs that they can't offset.
Another thing was that I think what ended up killing MySpace was that a lot of its user base just left the platform.
Yeah, but at the same time, you said that you can't really do it from a small because you have a much larger company. But at the same time, did you see the movie Facebook or the Facebook movie made by David Fincher? In that movie, they show you that the social network. It shows you that even with a great idea and a great IP, you can be bought out by a larger company.
Yeah, but Michael, there's a difference. YouTube, it's a whole server issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless it's a multi-millionaire who's footing a bill, it's not going to take off. They're not going to take off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could be, very well that. So, let's say someone comes up with a better idea. It's got a better IP. It's got a better design. It works better. Then they get backed by one of these millionaires. There's plenty of these millionaires places. So it's not like it's not. I'm just saying it's not impossible, and it's in fact it's very likely to happen one day.
Yeah, probably when YouTube goes to subscriber, but right now it's
right. For now, I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think it probably won't happen for a long, long time. I think you are right about that. Yeah, because you make a good point.
Boy, that's depressing.
I just want everyone to know I've been holding back on saying that the only reason I think Facebook's a state operational is because they've been selling their user data to the CIA.
They sell their user data to the CIA? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I remember reading somewhere that someone out of Facebook admitted that they were selling their users' data to either maybe it wasn't the CIA, maybe it was the NSA, it was someone in the government.
Interesting, yeah, it makes sense. Honestly, we're giving away all the information freely to them now.
I think there was also another article I came about where they said they were even running little marketing experiments just to see if they could influence their users' mood.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Well, maybe Mark Zuckerberg actually was replaced by a robot made by the CIA.
My God, it all makes sense now. Are there any new comic book movies coming out?
None that I'm interested in. I guess.
Same.
I can't even think of one. Not recently or not coming out anytime soon, at least. Other than Joker, I guess was the last one, right?
I can't. Guy at work told me to go see Joker, and I said I would, but I just haven't made time to.
I know it's weird. I feel like the same way for some reason. It's not like I'm sure it's a great movie. There's so many things to see and so little time.
Yeah, I probably even could go. It's just there's a theater out in Lakewood that has cheaper seats on Tuesdays, and I don't. I have Tuesdays off usually.
Oh really? Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good timing. I'm interested in going to see that Dr. Sleep movie. I believe it's a sequel to The Shining.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, it sounds kind of interesting.
Don't say you could really make a sequel out of the shit. I mean, but hey.
If you believe it, I've actually not seen The Shining before.
I've seen it. Wow. Okay, you've either read The Shining or seen it. There's a difference because the movie and the book are very different. Believe it or
really?
not.
Huh.
Yeah,
and I've heard there's 2 versions of the movie too. Isn't there?
there's the TV miniseries, which is a much more faithful adaptation, and then there's the Stanley Kubrick film that everyone's seen.
I think this is the sequel to the Stanley Kubrick one, if I'm not mistaken. But that's interesting.
I don't know because Stephen King's not complaining about it.
Did he complain about
when the film originally came out? He hated it.
Really? Oh wow.
But after some time, he kind of began to see its merit.
Nice. He probably just didn't like it at first because it wasn't as close to what he had originally written, I would think.
Well, yeah. I mean, like for one, he kind of wrote Jack in the novel to be more of a victim of the ghosts.
Interesting.
Whereas Stanley Kubrick sort of, at least the movie seems to imply that that Jack is the problem.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna watch it. I think because I'm gonna go see the new one. So I'll watch the. Do you think I should watch the Kubrick? Is it okay to watch the Kubrick one then? Or
it's a great movie, but it's just like if you're expecting it to be a faithful adaptation, you're like.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Otherwise, you'd be probably better off just reading the book.
Yeah, at least he's not an Alan Moore though. You know, he seems to enjoy a lot of the adaptations. Stephen King, you know.
Does he? I mean, like
I don't know. He keeps doing them. There's like a million Stephen King adaptations. Like, what's that?
He gets a royalty check off them. It's just I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that his books are not easy to adapt to film.
Oh no, yeah, I think that's true. He writes in a very particular way. Yeah. It does make it tough, and like I remember I opened up. I just because I watched the Under the Dome TV show, and so I decided I'd pick up the book, even though it's so big. I didn't end up reading it very much. But the first chapter starts off from the point of view of a chipmunk running across the road. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this would be hard to adapt for sure. I don't even know how you do that.
I mean, there's definitely some good adaptations of his work, but as far as I know, like I said, The Shining, it took him some time to come around to it. But as far as I know, the only one of his works that he actually liked was Maximum Overdrive, and that was just because he directed it himself.
And he was on cocaine at the time too.
So he probably liked everything he did. Man, I love this shit. This is great.
You know what's funny? It's like we watched Maximum Overdrive on our Discord once, and everyone was pointing out just like how like lifeless Emilio Estevez looked throughout the movie.
Really?
and then it kind of hit me. You know who Emilio Estevez's brother is, right?
Charlie.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
Yeah, and Charlie Sheen's drug problems are well publicized.
Yeah.
So let's think about it. Your brother's a drug addict, and now you're making a movie with a guy who's probably coked out of his brain, waiting for most of production.
Yeah, it's a bad combination. Wow. Well, yeah, makes sense. So no one going to any movies then. It sounds like really. Playing games? Anyone playing any games right now?
Not really. I just hadn't.
Too much work.
Yeah, we're just as far as I can't speak for Matt. I'm just really focused on working on the books.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, once the books are out, you'll probably have at least a little bit of time to take a break. I would imagine.
Maybe.
Can't overwork yourself, man. Got to remember to give time to relax as well.
Mm-hmm.
A well-oiled machine, after all, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, come on. I don't hear your spirit, Matt Brett. Give me an A. Give me an I.
No.
What?
What?
I mean, it's bad enough I gotta put up with that crap at work, Michael. Don't bring it.
All right, fair enough.
I hate the fucking cheers.
They do that at work.
Yeah, they got
Oh,
like
boy.
a whole routine for it and everything. And
Oh
I hate
boy. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, it sucks, man. Is Code Vein a video game?
Yep.
yeah, it is.
Neosar says I gave Code Vein a try recently.
Yeah,
I've not heard of that one.
I've heard it described as Weeb Souls.
That's funny. Is it new or?
Yeah, fair. I think it came out this year. I think.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I've been. I was playing Watch Dogs too, but I've been playing so much Death Stranding recently. Everybody, it seems that's you either love that game or you hate it, or you just don't even want to look at it.
Yeah. I'm just completely ambivalent towards it.
Right? Yeah. I think that's yeah. It's either you love it, you hate it, or you just don't care at all. But yeah, there's Cyberpunk's coming out next year.
Yep. Which might be in the middle of a Kickstarter campaign, but who knows?
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That would be awful.
Why?
Because I don't want to play it.
But you'd be too distracted, you think?
Yeah, it'd be too distracting.
Yeah, I can understand that. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
What?
Just wondering what's going now.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, you were talking shit behind my back, huh?
Yes,
oh,
yes, we were.
Snap. I knew it.
We're talking shit behind your back that you could listen again. I listened to after we're off.
Ha! You fools! You didn't think of that, did you?
Maybe.
All right, guess what? I know what I'm doing after this podcast.
Because you're
Mark
paranoid?
157. Note. Who's paranoid?
You.
Huh? Who's that? Who's listening in? Oh, God. It's not paranoia if it's true.
Okay,
Oh, man. You mean J.K. Simmons?
No, Alex Jones.
I thought Alex Jones was J.K. Simmons in disguise.
No.
That's how they portrayed him in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
He's like they even read out. They have a website for him, and the actor it's like he basically has his own Alex Jones type show.
It looks like it's set up to look like InfoWars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, they're really going into this hard with that angle.
J.K. Simmons portrays a character well enough that even though he's a bad guy, he's likable.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Well, he's hard not to like,
Well, a lot of that comes through with his natural charisma.
Oh, yeah. But then again, Stan Lee envisioned himself as J. Jonah Jameson, so...
That is actually pretty funny. I actually remember coming across an interview, I think it was with Kevin Smith, where he said like, yeah, I wanted originally to play Jonah, but I was too old. But in that same interview, he admitted that J.K. Simmons played him better than he ever could have.
What?
Well, that's because Stanley was able to understand his limits.
Fair enough. Yeah. And hell, he did all those great cameos, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love those,
It's a good thing he got. It's a good thing those cameos ended before the MCU went to trash.
Yeah, he had one final one in Endgame, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice way to. What's that? Oh yeah. Wait, what were we gonna say?
No, did he?
I thought so, but maybe not. I know he had one in Infinity War for sure.
Yeah, he was in Endgame.
He was.
He was a New York cab driver.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Funny thing is that in Captain America: Civil War, the first Captain America movie, when he played as one of the generals, he was probably the only one there who could wear that uniform without getting into trouble.
Really?
Because
he was a veteran.
Yep.
Oh wow, I had no idea. Huh. Oh, that's wild.
Yep.
Man. Yeah, he was a pretty incredible guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was one. The way he tells in his memoir is that he couldn't just write about superheroes. He had to go and do something.
So it was already after he'd started writing some?
Oh yeah, Captain America was his first writing gig.
Oh wow. Talk about an amazing first writing job.
Yeah, and it was also the first time he used the name Stan Lee.
Wait, that wasn't his name?
Yeah, it was his pen name. His birth name was Stanley Leibowitz.
So he dropped the Leibowitz?
No, it's Lieber.
Lieber. Lieber? So he dropped the last name and just stuck with the middle name?
Yep.
Pretty smart.
I think his brother is still alive.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He also his brother also did some had some creations of his own.
Really? How so?
Well, they worked together at Marvel. Bring it up.
So, what do you guys got going on for the rest of the day?
After this, I'll probably. I called out from work tonight just because it was so wet. I'll probably a quick nap and then just maybe get some house cleaned done, and who knows, maybe even I could probably use to even get some more writing done.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, you utilize that time you have.
Yeah, like I said, I would. Yeah, like I said, I'd probably just take a quick nap just so I can maybe just recharge myself a little bit.
Probably a good idea, honestly.
Yeah,
How about you, Matt?
I'll probably get some work done. Probably take a nap because I didn't sleep all that well.
You too. You guys are in two peas in a pod.
Something like that, I guess. It's
apparently so.
Although it's funny, I've heard that peas don't actually look all that much alike. Two peas. Who knows?
How is it? I mean, like, I came back from work last night and like I try to go to sleep, man. I can't fall. I try at my best, but for the life of me, I just cannot get myself to fall asleep till like maybe 3:34 in the morning.
Oh God, you just can't sleep.
I couldn't sleep. Whatever.
Oh man,
I just couldn't
that is tough.
Like, what about that happened to you last night, Matt?
Yeah.
Wow. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Have you guys ever tried like sleep medicine or anything?
I don't know. I remember I have some chamomile tea in the cupboard.
I just decided to take the opportunity to work on stuff.
I guess if that works, as long as you get your sleep in.
Yeah.
Sleep is important to get for a healthy brain.
One thing.
Well, this is interesting. Okay, so Stanley's brother, Larry, is also a penciler.
It's also what?
Is a penciler.
Really?
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Nice.
Yeah.
So his name is Lever, though?
Yep. He illustrated the Spider-Man news newspaper strip from 1986 to 2018.
Whoa,
Oh,
that's a long
was that
run.
the one
Jeez.
Stan was working on?
Yep.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
shit.
I had no
Yeah.
idea. What a little known fact.
Oh yeah, the brothers were working on Spider-Man.
That's pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, it is. Like, yeah, damn, that's actually pretty. God damn, that's actually pretty cool.
Think about it
Right.
this way. Think about it this way. Stan Lee was writing Spider-Man until his death. Up until his death.
Yeah, was it? Well, either that or up until he was physically incapable of doing it anymore.
Well, it's that the newspaper strips that ended in September 2018.
Ooh.
Yep.
And what year did? Oh wow, it was just about a year ago, right?
He passed away earlier this month last year. Remember?
He passed away in November 2018.
So pretty close, huh? Within just a few months.
Yeah. That's probably
Pretty amazing.
That's probably when he would start. Why he was starting to have all this troubles.
Well, on the other hand, it could be him continuing to work on this kind of stuff, kept his brain active and in good condition. They say doing stuff like that, and not just to rest and stuff can help keep your mind sharp throughout the ages.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Although I have to say that if anyone who was politically crazy read his memoir, it'd probably call for him to be canceled because he said nice things about George Bush and Hillary Clinton.
Evil.
In fact, in one of the pages, he talks about when he received mail from George Bush. Right in front of him was Olivia. I'm not going to pronounce this name. Try to pronounce her name, but he gave her. Bush gave her the mail and kissed her on the cheek. The only thing that came to Stan's mind was, "You're not going to kiss me, too, are you?" And they both started laughing.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Yeah, that's hella funny. I could totally see that.
That was Stan Lee, though.
Right?
I mean, he's one of those guys who would always get along. He'd find a way to get along with someone, no matter what.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I totally feel that too. Yeah, like a total people person.
He was just. Stan was so likable. His cameo in the Teen Titans Go movie was actually charming.
Oh my god, I didn't see that. I didn't realize he had a cameo there.
Like in one, he's doing like another Stanley cameo, and then someone whispers, "Stan, this is a DC movie," and then he's like, "Wait, this is a DC movie?" And then later he pops up in the big climactic chase scene, and the Titans are like, "Stan Lee," and he says, "I don't care if it's a DC movie. I love cameos."
Oh my god, that's awesome. That is really good.
And his last line in that is "Excelsior."
Nice. Dude, I almost want to just watch that for that alone. For the cameos.
I hear it's not that bad of a movie.
Really?
I mean, it's Nicolas Cage finally gets to play Superman.
Nicolas Cage? What do you mean?
Yeah, he finally gets to play Superman.
There was an unmade Superman movie starring Nicolas Cage.
Huh?
Look at it. It's a thing. It was almost a thing.
It was almost a thing.
Yeah, Kevin Smith was it was set to write a Superman movie. I think Tim Burton was supposed to direct it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And Nicolas Cage as
Superman himself, Clark Kent.
And it got to the point where they had a costume for him.
Whoa. Are there pictures of him in the costume?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta see that.
I think there's a promotional photo of that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I realize that a lot of films that get canceled do get pretty far in pre-production.
Really? Wow. He looks incredibly ridiculous with that hair.
Yeah.
That hair is so long. Oh my god. Wow. Oh, that just made my day. Oh man.
And it's actually really interesting how with Jodorowsky's Dune,
Mm-hmm.
it was the movie that during pre-production, Dan O'Bannon and H.R. Geiger met during that. And after that, they went on to do Alien.
Nice.
So that was
that's amazing. And if you're not familiar, Geiger, he's the creature creator, I believe, right?
Yep.
And then the other guy's the director.
Creator
Creator guy.
Yep. And some of Geiger's sketches for Dune ended up in Prometheus.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I like to see that kind of stuff come back.
Oh yeah.
Even if it isn't Prometheus. Well,
it was also a very crazy cast too, such as Salvador Dali was supposed to play the Emperor of the Universe.
In what movie?
Dune.
Really?
Yep. David Carradine was set star in it.
Wow.
H.G. Wells.
Then jeez.
All right, Orson Welles, sorry.
Yeah, Orson Welles, right? Yeah.
I mean, this was going to be a powerhouse movie.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy. And then there's a new version coming out next year, right?
Yep. But
what do you?
Go on.
What do you think?
It might be good. I'm hoping it's good because if there's anything, as I've read Dune, if they have this be one successful movie which spawns off a bunch of adaptations for the other books, Jason Momoa is gonna be a very rich man.
Is he like one of the main characters or something?
It's really weird because he's gonna die at the end of the first movie. Because his character doesn't last long in the first book.
So how will he become rich then?
Because his character comes back as a clone in future.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the books stretch on. It basically has 10,000 years
of material to cover.
Well, something like that. I mean, there's different places in time where they take place.
Interesting. Well, I'm just excited simply because I was so impressed by the director's work on the last Blade Runner movie that I just can't wait to see what he brings to this new sci-fi or this beloved sci-fi property.
Oh yeah, I hope it's better than the sci. It looks better than the sci-fi miniseries.
Yeah, I do remember. I think I saw a little bit of that a long time ago when it first came out. It was like 2002 or something. It was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I just watched it and the CGI aged horribly.
Yeah, I bet. I'm not surprised. The makeup's probably not the greatest either. But,
well, it was a very faithful adaptation, and it was written very well.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Unlike, sometimes you don't get as much faithful adaptations,
Yeah.
But I guess we're pretty much at the end of our time here. I just realized we were over the second hour mark.
Yeah,
although, I think we went about 10 minutes over in the last one, so this looks about right.
Well,
right here.
Well, let's see. Have we ever stopped on time?
Not really. Not exactly. No. Real quick, I want to say this is awesome. Neostar says Nicolas Cage's mullet Superman. Yeah, dude. Really. You gotta be happy that didn't get made in a way.
Well, it would have been the death of Superman with that's there written.
Now, would it have been the death of Superman, the storyline, or would it have just been the death of the franchise?
The death of Superman storyline.
Well, that would have been an interesting storyline to see, although I do love to repeat that storyline all the time.
Well, not really, because it's only been shown once.
On movie? You mean in movies?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
It probably would have had more impact if they did it with Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I could see
he had
that.
an injury at the time, so he wasn't able to reprise the role.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, I know they did that in the new one. Didn't they do that storyline in the new movie?
Yeah, Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Which we really did not have time to actually care about this.
Right, yeah. But yeah, there's someone else pointed out real quick before we do plugs. We were talking about superhero movies. You know what's coming out. Someone said Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh yeah,
I've been
forgot about that.
I've been seeing the usual suspects claim that that's a disaster, but they said that about the first Wonder Woman movie, so I placed doubts.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I like the time period too. I think 1984 is a good year for it. It'll be interesting to see again. You know where the story goes.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll just move on.
Plugs. Let's plug.
Okay, so if you want to follow them, if you want to keep up with the general Mythoverse news, follow us on Twitter at Mythoverse. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Celtic Brett. Dan can be followed at Dan_Sakaro.
You can find me at Matt Trend.
And
what else you guys have?
Close this up by saying Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Don't forget your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, there's also the official Mythoverse YouTube channel. I forgot about that.
Well, see, I'm really good at remembering everyone's plugs, man.
Well, you know, with all the YouTube stuff going on, we'll be there for much longer.
If the channel gets nuked, we'll just migrate to Twitch.
Yeah, unless they start being all wonky on us. Right? Who knows?
Well, you know,
we always got a mixer.
Google.
They're not run by Google?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's good.
I might spend today downloading the broadcast, all the streams. It's just so maybe we can at least upload audio onto the website.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
All your YouTube streams, you mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. You mean you can? They make it easy. You really can, easily download things on there, like your past videos, even the live ones. And I remember one time we did an interview with Jeremy for Movie Men for his campaign, and then I was able to download the live thing, and he was able to upload it to the Indiegogo page, and have that hosted on the top. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, so there's the YouTube channel as well. Yeah. And then, do you guys want to plug the website? Maybe get a little Mythochibis action in there.
Yeah. Mythoversecomics.com. That's our official website.
I like that. Nice domain you got there yourselves.
Yeah. And our next comic will be uploaded this Wednesday.
Very nice, man. And both have a Thanksgiving theme, I believe. Nice. And just plug that there. And for us, you can follow us on YouTube, obviously right here, and check out our Twitter at Wikid Publishing. I'm at Nubguy, and my other Wikid at Matt B_Sulos. And just to look out for some new comics, coming soon to the Wikid store. Check out the magazine if you haven't checked it out. And just remember to keep checking up with our YouTube for more information and all that stuff. And I think that's how it about covers it. All right, guys. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you guys next time on the Wikid podcast. Later.
Later.